Wow. You smell that? It's almost like brand new car smell. You know, when you finally get that ride that you've been looking for and you finally can get that Corvette or the Porsche, or maybe you just going looking for a new car and you see that Lexus 350, whatever it might be, and you get that brand new smell, you're like, this is luxury. This is exactly what I have wanted. This is the car of my dreams. That's how it felt watching the Denver Nuggets last night. Boy, oh boy, was that show not special, y'all. We got to tap into it. There's so much to get to, y'all. This is Swiper. This is Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Locked On Nuggets. This is your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Shout out to you all. Hope you're having a spectacular day. I hope that everything is going well around your way, and I hope you got a chance to watch the Denver Nuggets last night. If you didn't, this is the perfect place to be. And if you did not, I highly suggest that after you watch this show, you go back to YouTube, go watch the highlights, or go to NBA.com if you got NBA League Pass and go watch the condensed version of the game. Yo, that was a special, special game, and we got so much to get into. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Y'all, I am so glad to be here with you today. That was genuinely maybe the most fun preseason game that I've had a chance to watch. Maybe since the team got back together in 2023, you know, after Jamal Murray returned from injury, it felt like you were getting a chance to watch a brand new product. And it felt like you were getting an opportunity to truly watch a team with goals that was committed to a mission, and everybody was on the same page. Now, here's the thing. The Los Angeles Clippers, I have been trying to stick up for them all offseason. A lot of people are down on the Clippers, y'all. I think they're going to be one of the three best teams in the conference come playoff time this year. I think they are, from 1 to 12, the most diverse group of cast members on a team in the NBA. Kawhi Leonard looks spectacular, 17 points. I think Ivica Zubac is a third-team All-NBA level player. Brook Lopez might be the best backup center in the NBA now. And then on top of that, James Harden, 80 games last year, third-team All-NBA. You add all that stuff in, a lot of people look at this team and say, man, well, you know, they're always going to falter somewhere along the line. But do you know, Nuggets fans, that the only two times they've ever been healthy going into the playoffs was in 2020 and in 2025. And the only team that beat them were the Denver Nuggets in 7 games. That game you got a chance to see. Brian Windhorst on Who Collected Podcast, he said it's not like it was game made of that series, but it felt like it was the opening night. And that's what it felt like yesterday, y'all. Both teams wanted it so badly. And on the Denver Nuggets front, they have so many players that are offering such unique perspectives to what is going to make this team look so good. Now, first off, Jokic was Jokic. Last night, 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. And if you look at the effort that he was playing with on the defensive end, you look at the effort he was playing with in transition. When the Clippers would score, there was a period in the second quarter where the Nuggets were establishing a lead, where they were getting the ball out of the inbound quick. I'm talking about Jokic throws the ball in, sprints down the floor, and within 4 seconds, you would see a dunk on the other end. Christian Brown got the ball on an outlet pass from Jokic. The ball bounces in front of him. He kind of dribbles to the middle of the court, throws an alley-oop to Aaron Gordon. And then almost like the next play, Jokic sprints it out of transition. He's running. Aaron Gordon has the ball. He does a no-look middle of the floor, bounce pass to Jokic, who finishes with a finger roll. Jokic yesterday was playing with such intensity, and I think that one of the things that's going to change this season is because of the level of play around him. I expect a more upbeat Jokic. I expect a Jokic that's going to be more committed to, and again, it's not like he's not committed, because that's not what I'm saying. I think that Jokic is going to feel an energy in which that makes him want to go out and do even more on the defensive end and more in transition. You know, I think this is going to be one of Jokic's like 26 points per game type season, maybe 27. I don't think that the scoring volume is going to be 29.6 like it was last year. Now, he'll have stretches where he's averaging over 30 because he's Jokic. But I do think, man, there's something about the energy that is being harnessed on the roster where Jamal Murray, you all, since the first game of preseason, has been locking in defensively. Yesterday, you know, he went 3 of 9 from the field, rather. But look, if you look at the shots that he was generating, they were great. The three-pointers off of the pick and roll, the wide open three-pointers, the way that Jamal Murray is getting in and out of his shots right now, you just kind of look at it and you're like, that's somebody who literally, what he said last year, he just needed to get refreshed. He needed to rest. You know, if you look at Jamal's first three-pointer, the score was 4-11. And Jokic sets a great screen. Zubac has to extend out with him to the left wing because he doesn't want to leave him by himself. And then he ends up, even still, Derrick Jones Jr. is trailing. He still gets a good three-point shot off. And look, Jamal is going to hit those shots as the season goes on. And one of the things we'll talk about later is, I think something you all should pay attention to is the level of three-point rate and the kind of three-pointers the Nuggets are generating over the course of the season. Now, there's a lot more to get into that. We'll have a whole segment, a part of a segment on that. But I think Jamal is going to contribute a lot to what's happening. And so if you watch yesterday's game, Jamal's playing with intensity. Jokic is playing with intensity. Aaron Gordon, my goodness. Now, AG is one of the most interesting players in the league because there's a lot of debate how sustainable is Aaron Gordon's shooting. Because if you look at if you track how he shot in 2022-23, he shot 39% from three on low attempts. And then he had a lower shooting year in 2023-24. But if you look at the numbers, if you go to April of that year, he's been shooting above 40% from three since April 2024. And from 2023 to now, he has really modified his shooting mechanics, modified his ball handling, modified his game to be able to be a player that can contribute more on a ball handling, playmaking, shot creation standpoint. And Aaron Gordon yesterday with 18 points on 6 of 11. He was 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. He also had 7 rebounds and 2 assists, 1 steal, literally doing everything. The great thing about where AG is right now, he is literally in a place where he can now do ISOs versus like a player of Derrick Jones Jr. stature and create space, get to the step back, and then confidently hit a mid-range shot. He even had a mid-range shot on James Harden that he was in the post. And, you know, the Clippers are trying to over-leverage. They're wondering, okay, he got Harden on his back. Is he going to try to bully ball Harden all the way to the rim? What's he going to do? And instead of giving them an opportunity to double him at the rim, he simply assessed what was in front of him, jab, pulled it, and was able to hit mid-range shot. And if you just kind of watch how Aaron Gordon is playing, he looks confident, he's poised, and I think defensively, he's going to have a better year this year than he did last year. Remember, AG last year was going through a lot last year. And I think that physically, mentally, emotionally, the whole year was taxing him. But I think this is going to be another season, man, where he takes another step forward. So far in preseason, he's shooting 67% from the field, 50% from three, 75% from the line. Again, it's just he feels and looks more comfortable as an offensive player. So he looked great yesterday. And then also Christian Braun, 4 or 5. He just looks as if he's continuing to figure out how to utilize his body, his frame, his physical advantages. And also one of the things, too, Christian Braun had a pick-and-roll navigation scene yesterday where he had Kawhi Leonard on him at the top of the key, bink, 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 trying to draw the defense to sleep a little bit. And then Jokic sets a screen, navigates left, and then he goes all the way to the paint. Zubac is on his back, gets to the rim, fakes on the left, and goes all the way under on the right and finishes the reverse layup. And it's like, I didn't see Christian do that confidently last year. And again, this is just natural when you progress. Christian's going into year 4. Peyton Watson, who we're going to talk about next, is going into year 4. And I think you can see the confidence that the players are playing with right now. So on the other side, we got to talk about Peyton Watson because y'all, this could be maybe the biggest development of the Nuggets in this NBA season. We'll be back for segment 2 here at Locked On Nuggets. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. Now, one of the great things about Peloton, you all, we have one at the gym that I go to. It offers real-time strength coaching. It actually tracks your reps to just the right weights and corrects your form, making the reps safer and smarter. And they also have a swivel screen. It's a game changer. You can go from running on the Tread Plus to strength training without missing a beat. So it's great. And the personalized class recommendation actually will keep you engaged and get your workouts tailored to your vibe and energy level every single week. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. We'll be back for more here at Locked On Nuggets. We're back here for segment 2 of Locked On Nuggets. Shout out to you all. Thank y'all so much for being here with us today. This has just been such a great summer, and I'm so glad we got real NBA basketball to get into now. Y'all make sure if you're listening to this on the audio side, give us a 5-star review. That way more and more people can listen to the great content being made here at Locked On Nuggets. Also, if you're on the YouTube side, we are on the way to 15,000 subscribers. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. That way we continue to grow the greatest Nuggets show on the internet. Y'all, so Peyton Watson, it is time, and this is a code red. If Peyton Watson is everything that David Adelman has been telling us that he is, and by that I mean he's worked on his ball handling, he is somebody they trust to have the ball, somebody they trust to bring the ball off the floor, somebody they trust to be a secondary or tertiary initiator for the offense, that's a game changer. Peyton Watson is huge, y'all. He is 6'7" plus with a 7+ foot wingspan, and he is by far their best rim protector, him and Aaron Gordon on the roster. And he is somebody who's going into year 4 who has had time to watch and see, had time to fail and succeed, had time to see, when I play in playoff series, this is how the Clippers are going to guard me. When I play in playoff series, this is how OKC is going to guard me. How do I counter what these teams are doing and how they're trying to defend me? And one of the great things that you can do, and I'm telling y'all, at some point in time, we're going to see something like this. So Peyton Watson is operating as the ball handler in the pick and roll, and he had a spectacular play. He was with the second unit. He has Valanciunas, fakes left, come down right, hard dribble to the basket. He puts himself in a threatening scoring position. And what happens is now Brook Lopez and the defender that's fighting over the screen to get around, to get back to Peyton Watson, they both crash down with Peyton because they don't want him to have a clean look at the rim, given how athletic he is. So Peyton gets all the way to the rim, throws it back behind his head to Jonas Valanciunas, and Valanciunas finishes with the hard dunk for 2, and you just looked at it and said, man, when has Peyton Watson done that before? And this is a credit to Peyton and a credit to David Adelman. David sees this in Peyton, and he knows, Peyton, this is the kind of player you want to be. You want to be a star in this league. You want to make a lot of money in this league. Well, one of the things you're going to have to be able to do is finish with a high level. You're going to have to be able to defend at a high level. You're going to need to be able to convert free throws. But one of the things you really have to do is be able to make your teammates better. How can you utilize your athleticism? How can you utilize the length and the skill that you're developing to not just benefit your offensive output, but to really benefit your teammates? That changes things, because what happens is Now, if teams are in a situation where Peyton gets confident enough and good enough with his ball handling, not against everyone, but against a lot of people in the league, where he's able to get downhill on screens and get downhill on pick and rolls, well, then now that's going to change up the coverage you're seeing. And one thing that changed that I felt like Peyton could have done it, but he wasn't, just the positioning. Peyton ran a screen on the left-hand side of the screen, and he went around, and I'm like, is Peyton about to pull this? Because if Peyton's able to start really translating his game from being just a spot-up three-point shooter to a pull-up dribble three-point shooter, that little change alone in your three-point shot diet will change how teams defend you. Because if you start becoming a threat off screens and with the ball, then when you're off the ball and you start hitting that with more proficiency, eventually teams are going to have to be able to stay connected to you more often than not. So Peyton, you have a real chance to grow as an offensive player. And I love what I'm seeing from him. And defensively, he made a play yesterday, y'all, where he lobbed the ball over the top of the key. It was a bad pass. But knowing Peyton Watson, he doesn't give up on the play. He then gets the ball taken, but he sprints down the floor, throws the ball off the glass for a block, and then it then turns into another Denver Nuggets possession. And so it's just stuff like that. I'll contend with this. Going into this season, when they signed Bruce Brown and they signed Tim Hardaway Jr., I said, okay, that's probably going to be your 6th and 7th man this year. Perhaps one of the things that I discounted, and it wasn't intentional, but I couldn't have foreseen that Peyton would be able to take that kind of a leap. If Peyton takes a leap offensively, where he's able to truly add some dexterity to the offense as a big wing, he can be the 6th best player on this team this year. Now, that's up to Peyton. He has to continue to work and to make sure he's producing results. But I'm telling y'all, man, what I saw from him, that was special stuff. And by the way, y'all, Cam Johnson, he is not converting three-point looks so far in preseason, but what he is generating is high-quality looks for him and for his teammates. What he is doing is that added pressure of floor gravity is changing the way that teams are having to defend Denver. Yesterday, perfect example, Christian Brown and Jokic. Jokic gets the ball in the middle of the short roll. Kawhi Leonard cheats off of Cam Johnson from the left corner right in front of the Denver Nuggets bench. And so from that position, he gets the ball sent out to him immediately. And then Cam is able to catch the ball in rhythm, swack. Made a 3 last night off that play. I think he might have made, he made 2. He was 2 of 7 yesterday from the three-point line. But again, if you go back through, like I said, go to NBA.com. You can watch all these looks yourself. If you look at the type of three-pointers he's getting, these are open shots, wide open shots. And I think that this is going to make a big difference for this roster, because what he's going to do is continue to further extend defenses away from the paint. But because he has the ability to move, to dribble and create, those opportunities, I think, are going to allow for him and for his teammates to work really well. So on the play that I was talking about earlier, this is with 4 minutes and 36 seconds left. Jokic gets the ball at the top of the key. Tim Hardaway sets a back screen for Aaron Gordon. Jokic sees that the man that's behind Tim Hardaway Jr., which is Derrick Jones Jr., is going to overplay it. So then he throws the ball in. Tim Hardaway Jr. on the slip. Tim Hardaway gets into the paint. Kawhi cheaps over. And there's Cam Johnson. And one of the other things that made a big difference yesterday and why Kawhi left, and then when Harden could have rotated back down, he didn't, because Christian Brown. Christian Brown yesterday was shooting the ball with purpose, with intentionality. And because he did that, now that then changes the way that other teams are having to deal with him, and then subsequently changes how the rest of the roster is being defended. And so this is going to all be a theme that we're going to really be holding on to all year. How can the Nuggets continue to generate high-level looks with all these players they have? And also, another note, Jonas Valanciunas yesterday looked great. Again, 5 of 7 from the field. And one of the best things about that's happening right now is that teams, when they would put their backup big in, especially backup bigs with the kind of quality of Brook Lopez, that puts the Nuggets in a really big bind, because historically they would have DeAndre Jordan out there. So obviously that's just not the same quality of player, or they will put Zeke Naji, or then you would have to then rely on Aaron Gordon. Last year was also Dario Saric, who just didn't work out. Jonas Valanciunas brings them credibility to the backup 5 position. 10 points and 9 rebounds for Jonas in 17 minutes and 49 seconds to play, y'all. So, again, a lot more to develop and happen with this team. But on the other side, I think there's a very, very new update to the roster and to the scheme that I think is going to make a big difference this season. On the other side, we're going to talk about that here at Locked On Nuggets. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Now, I love using FanDuel, you all. Again, one of my favorite things to do on a weekend is I like to just look at the Thursday night schedule. I look at the early morning Sunday night schedule or Sunday schedule, and then I'll just combine those games for a parlay. Or I like to find same game parlays, especially when a team that is favored to win, or who I think should be favored to win, if they're down early or down at half or down going into the fourth quarter, you can just lay a little on the side, and it makes that game even more intense. And I love watching football as it is. But when you have something more riding on the action, it makes it that much more. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or phone. Now, Monarch Money is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization on your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Now, Monarch Money is great, y'all. Again, one of the things that goes most under the radar for a lot of us is subscriptions that we have paid for that we did not realize that are still being taken out of our account. And Monarch Money can identify the subscriptions you're paying, and then you can decide from there which ones you want to keep and which ones you want to get rid of. And that saved me a lot of money in the past. I love utilizing Monarch Money for that. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNBA. We'll be back for the final segment here at Locked On Nuggets. Y'all, we are back for segment 3 of Locked On Nuggets. Shout out to you all. Thank y'all so much for being here with us today, each and every day. Ryan Blackburn, Matt Moore, and myself, we deeply, deeply appreciate you. So we're in a place now, y'all, where the Nuggets are consistently trying to find ways to take advantage of the all-time great player they have on their roster. Jokic is 30. He's in the middle of his prime. This is a dude that I think could be on track to have his career season this year. And I think from a number standpoint, people are getting this confused. What do you mean, Swipe? Last year, he was averaging 30, 13, and 2 steals. He was top 3 in 4 to 5 major categories in the NBA. No one's ever done that. He shot 44% from 3 when you take the heaves out. He shot above 62% from 2, 80% from the line. What do you mean a career year? I actually think that this could be a better defensive year from Jokic. I think this can be a more efficient season from Jokic. I think this could be his best playmaking passing season, because what's happening is the Nuggets are trying to diversify their personnel, and now because they have more options, you can kind of flatline some of the numbers. Now, Jokic and Jamal, that's going to be the 3 best scored. I think then after that would be Cam Johnson, and then it'll be Aaron Gordon. But I do think one of the things that they're trying to intentionally do is generate more threes, generate more high-quality threes. And when I say that, yesterday, if you watched the game, the Nuggets shot 42 three-pointers as a team. Now, a lot of that came in the second half as well. And shout out to Curtis Jones, who made back-to-back-to-back threes to help them win the game yesterday. Just a really great performance from him. but they generated 22 3-pointers. 22 3-pointers. I think that if you watch what was happening, they were attacking the Clippers in the half court and attacking the Clippers in transition by making them play at different levels on the floor, whether it's Jokic playing above the 3-point break at the top. That way you got to extend your defense. You're running DHOs all the way up there, or Christian Brown is running pick and roll with Jokic or whoever, or Jamal Murray. And then you want to also, when they play the Jokic Valanciunas look, they layered it by then putting Jokic on a flash screen to the nail. Jokic gets the ball, and if you don't respond properly, then there's going to be a dump off to Jonas Valanciunas for an easy layer dunk, or Jokic, who is a career elite mid-range shooter, just got that shot at the nail and was able to nail it. He had both of his mid-range shooting shots yesterday. The Nuggets also, off these looks, what they're trying to do is over-leverage the defense. That way you could over-commit, and now Tim Hardaway Jr. is getting a quality 3-point look. Cam Johnson getting a quality 3-point look. Jamal Murray getting a quality 3-point look. Aaron Gordon getting a quality 3-point look. And then, obviously, you run the pick and roll. Now, teams have adjusted. Now, they are pre-rotating the Jokic a lot off of the pick and roll when he pops. Because, again, you just can't have somebody that can shoot 44% from three wide open at the top of the key on 5 attempts a game. That's too much. But what's happening is you over-leverage. Now, instead of having players on the court that can't take advantage of that, they have real optimal shooters in these lineups with Jokic. And what I think is going to make a big difference is Christian Brown. If Christian Brown can increase his 3-point, not just his percentage, but increase his rate, again, that changes the way teams are guarding you. Yesterday, he was 3 of 4 from 3. And if you look at the looks that Christian Brown was getting, they were wide open, they were good, and they looked like they were just confident. And when you look at Tim Hardaway Jr., if you go back and you look at some of the numbers on Tim Hardaway, he didn't make any threes yesterday. Again, Cam Johnson was 2 of 7 from 3. So for me, it's not about the results, but what it is about the kind of shots you're generating and how confident are you while taking those shots. And if you just look at the looks that Johnson and Hardaway and Brown and these other players are getting, it just gives you a feeling, y'all. And that's why the show is titled I Got a Feeling. Because if you watch the team, if you listen to the team from David Adelman to John Wallace, and you listen to Ben Tenzer, if you watch Christian Brown and you listen to him, you watch and listen to Aaron Gordon, you watch and listen to Nikola Jokic, you watch and listen to Jamal Murray, the energy is palpable. Jamal seems more upbeat. Jokic seems more upbeat. Now, maybe some of this is as simple as it's a new season, and because it's a new season, we're just excited to go out and play basketball again. But I do think the players feel like, as Christian Brown noted, they have everything that they need. And because the players feel confident in that, and they know that the front office has done their job to try to put more and more players around their core, I think everybody just feels a little bit more perky and upbeat, and like they know they have a true chance of winning a title this season. And again, they got rid of the Calvin Booth, Michael Malone tension that existed, so that could also be one of the reasons why the air feels a little lighter. But I do think, man, that like there's a connectivity that exists to the team. Now, last year, the Denver Nuggets, they led the NBA in assists and passes. So they've already have kind of always played with this heavy share the ball mentality. But I'm actually curious to see how that manifests even more. Now, Russell Westbrook was a big reason why those numbers went up so much, because he's obviously one of the best passers we've seen in the sport. He's very active in transition. He's always trying to create as many advantages for him and his teammates as possible. But I do think Peyton Watson, Bruce Brown, Julian Strawther, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, they can all benefit with that in their own way. Jokic and Murray notwithstanding. Jokic, best passer in the league. Murray's an upper-tiered guard passer. Can they just continue to optimize the floor and play the math game a little bit more? Last year, Calvin Booth talked about he doesn't believe that a team with Jokic should lose because of like 3-point shooting and like, especially versus some of the other underwhelming teams in the league. But what you saw last year is that when the 3-point line is on your side, i.e. the OKC Thunder game, I think that was game 4, where the Nuggets had a chance to go up 3-1. And then off the bench, you had Wiggins, you had Caruso, and you had Case and Wallace. I believe they made 4 or 6 threes off of the bench, and that alone kept OKC in the game to give them an opportunity to close the door. So I do think the Nuggets need to play the math game a little bit. They already are 22 threes in the first half, especially with the amount of starters that were playing. I think that makes a big difference for this season. And I'm really excited how the personnel works, y'all. Right now, the rotation we have is Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. And it seems Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson, and Jonas Valanciunas. That is a really solid 10. And then after that, it's DeRon Holmes, it's Jalen Pickett, and then it's Zeke Naji. So they technically, I think, have 13 players that could really vie on getting time. And then you're going to have like Kessler Edwards, Curtis Jones, Hunter Tyson, and see who else is going to be vying for that third team unit. But all the way around, y'all, you should be excited. This is new car smell. The Nuggets look good. They feel good. They're playing engaged. And y'all, you should be very happy about what it is you're seeing. That's going to do it for Locked On Nuggets. This is Swiper. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube side. Give us a 5-star review on the audio side. And we will see you on the other side.